This lonely ass world is becoming tougher and tougher. Now, loneliness continues to rise. It's all in the data. I've talked about it in other videos where Jonathan Haidt and many other professors, scientists, researchers are noticing a huge rise in depression and loneliness. The worst part is that it's happening mostly in the younger generation because we don't know how that's going to affect them in the next few years as they enter the workforce, as they enter politics. I mean, one day all these people that are there now are going to die and the next generation is going to come in. And we don't know what that's going to be like. With their experience, what would it look like? And I think we are just not, there's just so much happening in the world. It's very difficult to have understanding of how to navigate and mitigate the loneliness epidemic. With the rise of our devices and our phones, it seems that it's becoming ever more difficult to remove that from their lives. And even if you do, this is a problem that I'm having right now as I think about children one day, is I want to, remove devices from them, or at least not provide it to them for many years. And even when they have one, it's going to be limited to what they can do. All their friends are using it. Unless you find a community where they're also, their mindset is similar to yours, and in this case mine. What's the possibilities of that? Out of 100 people, 95% of them, 95 of them are using a device, and they're using it. They're letting their kids use it like whatever. I don't care. Maybe there's some limitations, but not as much as you think. Who's the majority on things like TikTok and Snapchat? It's the younger generation, the next generation. And I know very smart people who are also addicted to these apps. And I kind of was able to remove the blindfold or the virtual lens of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, like those quick hit of dopamine things, by removing it for the last 2 months. No more social media. And it's been a blessing. I feel much better. I'm not wasting time scrolling in the morning, wasting time scrolling at night. And it's the reason why, even though we may feel connected because we're seeing our friends, family members on these social media, so you kind of get an idea in your head of how they're doing. So the likelihood of you messaging them or giving them a call or going to knock on their door if they don't live that far is less likely, because you're like, oh, I'm all caught up. I'm just going to busy. I'm just going to stay busy. So I love the book 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Berkman on time management for mortals, which was more a philosophy book than a time management book, but just understanding that life is short and that human connection is everything. It's the dark side of, a lot of people are looking to work remote jobs. I work in a space where I see job openings, and I do sales calls to those companies, and if they have a remote job, good luck. This is 2,000 people applications. Never in the past has that happened. You may have a job if it's a good job or entry level. You may have like 100, 200 applications, sometimes more, in a regular, normal market. In this kind of market where companies are reeling people back in, you still want to be remote, especially if you're a single parent, if you're a new parent, they need it more. Yeah. But this loneliness is just affecting us in so many ways. And if you have a tough time connecting in person, because I think we're also, because of the pandemic, a lot of young folks are having a hard time going out and actually meeting people. This is why I'm a huge fan of building hobbies. This is why I love jujitsu, because any gym I go to, I can make friends easily. You know, it's there's nothing like creating a friend that's trying to kill you. uh, or a Muay Thai gym or MMA gym. It's easy to build a community in those places. It's easy to join if you're in a place that's very nature-esque, Utah, Colorado, California. I feel like these places, a lot of people go on, out camping, out hiking. They do a lot of these natural things. It's easy to find those kinds of groups. You can easily go online, go on Facebook. Yeah, they may be older, but I think being around older people is good. You get to hear stories, you get to learn a thing or two from these people. Listen more than you speak. There's a reason why God gave us two ears and one mouth. But it's also good to have friends that are around our age, peers, who we can talk about life's hardships, because all of us have them. And I think this loneliness comes from that we're not able to talk about these things, and whether that's how we feel, like handle our emotions. I know I made a video the other day about men and their emotions and how to navigate that, because emotional regulation is going to be a very important skill in the coming years as technology continues to improve. Men, yes, we work with these mostly. Still, a lot of us, a large percentage of men work with their hands, right? And what happens when machines really start taking over those jobs in the future? Even though machines have taken over more, white collar jobs, but eventually we're gonna need to know, because AI may take over. We need to know, be better at, emotional intelligence, because the computers can do a lot of the smart stuff, the stuff that requires you to be on a computer and create spreadsheets and do numbers and calculate and all these things. Our jobs will be better if we communicate effectively to individuals who are creating these machines to help us become more productive in less time so that we can enjoy more time. But as much as I'm an advent of remote work, I think that we have to do something else to keep ourselves busy. Whether you have a business that's completely remote or you have a job that is completely remote, you have to find ways to find people around us to not feel lonely. It's probably why people like to live with roommates for a long period of time, even when they don't have to. They just don't want to be alone. So, quickly, navigating your loneliness is one, find groups, find a hobby. As I mentioned, you do that, and you're gonna meet friends. Even if you're a deep introvert, just ask questions, talk to them, tell them about yourself. Eventually, people will start coming together. Sometimes it won't work out, and that's what we got to be okay with. I know that took me a while to figure out. Like, I thought everyone I met was gonna be immediate friend. I didn't want to feel rejected. But as once I was okay with rejection, or not rejection, but just not, I don't connect with everyone. Once I was okay with that, I was better. I was better in making friendships, deep, lasting friendships. I'm more of like small, select few in my circle versus like a large amount. And another thing to do is not be home. Go out, do things, sit in a coffee shop. The thing is when you continuously show up at the same place, gym, coffee shop, um, rock climbing gym, whatever it is that you go out and do, and people see your face over and over, that builds a sense of comfort. Same way in dating. If you wanted to, meet a girl at a gym or in a physical location, keep going to that place. If you see her sitting in a coffee shop one day, you keep going to that coffee shop, and eventually you strike up a conversation. Hey, I see you here all the time. Do you work from your laptop, or what do you do? Start a conversation. No, I'm interested. I always see you here, right? Same thing, building relationships with friends and not being lonely. Getting invited out, saying yes when you can. being open to meet new people, because those new friends you meet are going to have friends already, just like you probably have friends already. So you guys will start melding. People will start meeting other friends. So I met two of my friends in the last 2 years. Met a friend at a jiu-jitsu gym, and from there he introduced me to another guy who became a close friend as well. So that's how friendships happen. Sometimes it's accidental, but it's about you showing up every day, you being open to the experience, people sensing that you're open, because loneliness is a damn good killer. It will kill you slowly. People die of, you know, lonely hearts. Old people, when their spouse passes away, and they don't have anything else, they usually pass away not too long after. I think this happens earlier on as well. So I don't want to ramble any longer. I hope those two ways to navigate loneliness helps. The devices are just, these things are not a long-term effective device. They may seem like they're covering your loneliness or they're removing your loneliness, but they're not. You're being tricked by dopamine, because once all the devices get away, what happens? And because you feel that way, you keep going back to the devices. So go out there, make some friends, meet some people, say hi. I'm name. That's it. That's how a conversation starts. Hi, I'm name. Trust that something is going to come up, a question about the context of your situation, but they may ask you a question. Try it. Do that 30 times a day. That's a lot, but do it 10 times a day. Go out for a walk. Hi. Go to a coffee shop. Talk to the barista at the coffee shop. Talk to the supermarket cashier. Just talk to people. Hey, how you doing today? See what they say. Right? Try it. Let me know in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. Did you take on the challenge, saying hello to 10 people a day? That's it. Just hi. Make eye contact. Hi. Doesn't need to necessarily be a conversation, but that's a way to start. All right. Until tomorrow, y'all.